Good morning. Eric and I are on our way to Kingston, New York to check out some antique stores, do a little thrifting, little shopping, and we hope you come along. Right now we're crossing the Hamilton Fish Newburgh Beacon Bridge, which is a mouthful if you ask me. I read there are more than 26 million crossings over this bridge each year, and that is a lot. This bridge was built in the early 1960s, and you can see the view as you drive over it is really beautiful. Well, we just arrived at Zaborski Emporium, which is a giant architectural salvage store. This is the real reason why we're here today, in fact. And we're so bummed to find out that it's actually closed today. Such a bummer, but I'm going to at least take a few minutes to walk around the grounds so I can get at least the teeniest idea of what this place is about. As you can see for yourself, it's housed in a fabulous old building. I read that it was originally one of the East Coast factories of the Manhattan Shirt Co. Today, it houses 4 floors and 40,000 square feet of architectural salvage. Things like old lighting and plumbing, bathroom fixtures, radiators, all kinds of novelties. I actually read that they do business with the movie industry for set props. And I was also warned that if you visit this store in the colder months, you need to dress in layers because the place isn't heated. The owner is known as Stan the Junk Man, and he's been in the salvage business for over 50 years, along with members of his family. So I guess the roots run deep in this place. And although I can't go inside, I definitely do feel like I'm picking up on the vibe of this place. It's definitely better than nothing. Here's the list of things they're looking for. Makes sense based on what I've seen so far. And I have to admit that even in this limited way, it's fun to pick through some of this old stuff. I'm not really touching anything. I'm being respectful because the business isn't open today. So I want to obviously not be too deep into this. Just taking a very casual look around. Wonder what this thing is for. So odd. Do you know? Let me know in the comments. There is so much here that is reminding me of Monger's Market in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I don't know if you saw that particular video, but if you haven't, you might want to check it out. Monger's is like an extraordinarily organized and curated version of what we're seeing right now. They have a lot of the same things, except they're just placed perfectly. Although I have to say too, on the other hand, there's something really fun about seeing this kind of salvage stuff all jumbled up in a driveway the way you would kind of expect to find it in some ways. I'm definitely having like maybe some Sanford and Son vibes. I'm not gonna lie. And there are some cool things. These old bathtubs are so fabulous. They just don't make stuff like this anymore. And it reminds me of my first house that I ever bought, where my ex-husband and I did lots of deep diving for just this kind of old stuff, which we bought cheap, fixed up, and put in our house. This bathroom tub color is on the unfortunate side. I think we can all agree. I grew up in a house with a peach pink bathtub and a deep turquoise bathtub. So let me tell you, I know styling bathtubs when I see them. And I think that light green one does not do it. Okay, I'm just taking one more stroll over towards the front of the building so I can get a better look. Looks like it was built in 1919, according to this sign. And it really stands out against this bright blue sky. This radiator is fascinating. I have never seen one that's completely round like this before. I wonder what a round one like this was used for. It's actually very beautifully decorated. And there's lots of just metal shelves, nothing too interesting. And an old gate. Look at all of the ornate metalwork there. Here's a fabulous old phone booth. Telephone, that's not the spelling I'm so familiar with, but okay. And the old telephone is even still in here. So fabulous. I am loving this. I want to get a little better look at this bench. So much detail on this. Oh my gosh. It's so ornate. These flowers are stunning. I wonder how much a piece like this goes for. I bet a fair bit. And a little less antique looking phone booth than the one we saw before. I'm just going to take a little stroll up to the front door. Again, I'm not trying to be obtrusive here. I'm not intrusive. I just want to have a little bit of a better sense. These gates are so fabulous. Oh my gosh. Really, really cool. And another little bit of fencing in there. I can only imagine how awesome the interior would be. Poor Eric is sad. All right, well, we're heading over to an antique store because we want to see something that is actually open. Here we are at the Red Owl Collective. This place had really good reviews online, so we're going to check it out, and we do know that it's open. This is a good sign that we're in the right place. Big vintage sign at the door. And I like this old retro looking owl on the sign. All right, let's go inside and check it out. See what we have here today. I am very intrigued already. Well, I'd say we're off to a strong start with some mannequin heads displaying some very interesting hats. And I'm looking around this store because it is deceptively large. There are lots and lots of booths here. I see dishes like this when I'm out and about thrifting, and they always draw me in, but to see them all collected together like this is really, really fun. It gives you such a sense of what they must have looked like back in the day. And check out this Catherine Home covered casserole dish. That is very orange and $200. I sold a magazine rack just like this at one of my estate sales. The person never picked it up, so it is still in the barn as we speak. I really should do something about that. We have some great vintage bowls here and awesome canisters. Oh my gosh. I have to say, the store is making me feel like my 1970s childhood has come back to slap me upside the head. Even the towels, my goodness, nice Karak tray. I've seen this mushroom pattern before, but I've never seen these caps. Eric and I are both drawn to these awesome Fire King mugs. Check out these excellent colors. They want $16 each, which seems like a lot, but I've never seen these before. These plastic fish are so awesome. I guess you were supposed to put a paper plate in the center of it and you could use the fish as some kind of holder. My grandmother had a set of stacking stools just like this, but hers were leather. They want $260 for these. They are groovy. These mugs are really sweet. Eric and I were both drawn to these, and we thought they would look so lovely before we then realized that Iris, of course, would break them. This is also a really pretty cup and saucer set. They want $35 for this. It has such a great look. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. These were made in Bavaria. And there's some other information on the back stamp that I can't quite discern, but I just think these have a really fantastic look. That's another pretty little gingham plate in the back there. This is a nice little booth. Here we have another fabulous 70s set. This is $76 for this enamelware set. And this is really interesting. This is a Pyrex coffee set. I have not seen this before. And it's in its original box, which is really fun. I love to see old items displayed in their original packaging. It just gives you a sense of them you can't get in any other way. This vase has definitely got the avocado green going. This is a McCoy piece, $40 for that. And some corn on the cob holders. This elephant vase is really interesting. It would look terrible in my colonial house, but it would look fabulous in the right setting. They want $46 for it. It's very unique. This plate is so fun. It's very textural. It reminds me of when I used to go to summer camp and make mosaics out of little colored tiles. Mine were really ugly. They look nothing like that, I can assure you. These glasses are fabulous, calling the 4th of July. The shape of this vase is so interesting. I want to see if I can find out more. It has matching candle holders. This was made by Hull, and it's called Parchment and Pine Cones, or Pine Cones and Parchment. Very interesting. I always love tins that have kind of handles that come up like a basket. This one has a lot of damage on the top. They want $45. It's a bread box. These plates are stunning. They were made in the 1920s. They're pheasant plates. And I don't think I can really show you how beautiful they are on camera. They're translucent and they have this great 3D effect. They are really, really special. I love them. Great color. These are awesome plant stands. I've seen this on Laura Caldwell's channel. I think she picked up some for her mid-century modern house. They want $175 for these. They really have a great look. And I wanted to show you there's lots of unique pottery in this place. So if you're a pottery person or you love really beautiful wooden pieces or just mid-century modern stuff in general, you would really enjoy this store. The prices are on the high side compared to what I'm used to in Connecticut, but there's no doubt that this store is highly organized and curated. I really relate to this sign very much. Don't think it's antique, but it works for me. Check out this wall full of Karak trays. They look so amazing, all grouped together. And this top one is especially good. I see this owl around here and there. And just to kind of give you a sense, yep, look at this one with the flower cart, so pretty. But I wanted to give you a sense of the price. They're $60 each. I thought this portrait vase was going to be an older piece, but apparently it was made in the 1950s. I really like the shade of green. It has a bit of a haunting quality. When I was a kid, both my mother and grandmother had versions of these towels. I hated them then, and I'm not a big fan now. I'm just going to be honest about that. Eric is just checking out this very unique clock, which I guess is featuring a leopard. This leopard looks like he's in pain. I think someone has pulled his tail or done some other horrible thing to him, and he is $125. All right, we're headed to our next stop. Here we go. This town is really pretty, and these storefronts remind me of the old Wild West. They almost look like they're two-dimensional. We're not here for vintage clothing today, but there are lots of vintage clothing store places here, so if you're a fan, come here. We're headed into this store, another store that had pretty good reviews when we researched it. There's some interesting things out front. And I just want to get the name for you so you know where we are. Kingston Consignments and Antiques Center. We're starting off strong with this fabulous bird plate. I've seen this plate before. They want only $10 for this, which seems reasonable to me. Birds of America. I like this little painted covered box. It's not metal, it's wood, which is okay by me. They want $25 for this, and it's signed by the person who did it in 1983. I wish this porcelain tray was less expensive. It's $45 and it was made in Limoges, France. I'm not saying it isn't worth $45, but it's just more than I'm gonna pay for it. It's a beautiful piece. I think these bird vases have a great look. I don't know if that's $28 each or for the pair. And I want to give you a wide look at this store so you can just sort of see where we are. And that gentleman is missing his clothes. Somebody get him some clothes at one of those vintage stores. This is an interesting covered Limoges dish or bowl. That gold is a little glaring. It almost looks touched up, and there is a ginormous crack in it. I love this Belique covered jar. Isn't that beautiful? They want $55 for this. I love absolutely every single thing about this piece. It's fantastic. Here's some of the red souvenir ware that I collect. I really love these pieces. I think they're so charming. I think the red is flashed on, if I'm not mistaken, but they just look so pretty all grouped together like this. I'm especially tempted by this bigger piece in the back. I really like that it has the date on it. $12 for that. This is a fantastic covered casserole or covered bowl made by Hall. You know I love Hall if you watch this channel. And this is a great color blue, but this was made for Montgomery Ward & Co. specifically, so that makes it more fun. Okay, we're headed up to the second floor to see what's going on up there. Eric and I discussed picking up these Waterford glasses. All of our Waterford glasses have smashed, but then we thought, well, why buy more just to have them go the same way? They wanted $125 for this set, which seemed like a pretty fair price for what they are. This fish platter is fabulous. They want $85 for it. It really has fantastic colors. I love the blue of the water around this fish in particular. And this is a really pretty red and white platter. I had thought this might be Spode, but nope, this was made by Baker & Company. It has a great look and I love the handles. This is such a nice pottery collection, Weller pieces and Roseville pieces. They look nice together, especially. This dish is absolutely lovely. They want $10 for it, and it was made in Limoges, France. I think the flowers on this are so pretty, and I like the rim as well. I'm checking out this little cake pedestal plate or stand. This was made in Limoges. It's got these great butterflies on it. And it's kind of nice because it's not too big, which makes it practical to pop in different spots. And I think I like this one even more. This one was also made in Limoges. It's a little bigger and definitely very dusty, but I love the gold accents on it. This is fabulous, and I want to take this home, but not for $38, unfortunately. This is I. Godinger & Co., and I have the matching pitcher. It's such a beautiful piece. I really like these jadeite shakers. They have such a nice shape to them. $12. I think that's $12 for just one, not for the pair. They really are fabulous. And I also like this pretty portrait picture above them. They want $19 for this pretty picture. This is really interesting. And when I first looked at this, I wasn't quite sure what it was. I thought it might be a little vase of some kind and that would be for the water, but I was wrong. Check out the tag. This is an English toothbrush holder and they want $48 for it. It is a very cool piece. We just left the store and we are ready to get a little bit of lunch to fortify us for our final push through Kingston, New York. We are having a fantastic time. And we're off. This is our last stop for the day. It was recommended by one of the store cashiers at the last place. All right, there's lots of stuff on these shelves, kind of jumbled up. The store has a little bit of like a damp or dank smell to it, so we're not gonna hang out here way too long. As always, I've made my way to the plate area, the porcelain area. This is a Stangl plate, which has a very pretty pattern, but a lot of discoloration, which seems to be very typical of Stangl, I find. I really like these Christmas tree plates. They are very cheerful. I just want to get a better sense of who made this. It's hard for me to share these prices. They're not really coming up on camera, but these were made in England. Very cheerful. I like these strawberry glasses very much. I want to give you a better look at this, but they're $3 a glass, so that's a big no. I had a clock like this when I was a kid. It brings me right back. Okay, and last look at this little china or porcelain section. I'm looking at this little trinket dish. It's very pretty. There's lots of things here that are pretty, but nothing that is screaming my name. $4 for this little plate. I have a cute little lusterware set in orange and blue, you can see. And this guy's cute. I mean, they're all very pretty, but nothing spectacular that I feel like I need to bring home with me. Little gravy boat, pretty flowers. Yeah, that orange and blue lusterware set is really nice. And just, yeah, like I said, lots of little plates. This one was made in Germany. And there's one with purple flowers. That was just sitting underneath it. Just wanted to get a better look at this guy. Oh no, they're grapes, not flowers. Bavaria. I like this covered bowl. They want $8 for this. It has beautiful pink flowers. And I just want to see who made this piece. I'm curious. This is a little Homer Laughlin covered bowl. Didn't see that coming. Very pretty. Well, I'm very sad because I love this thistleware plate and I don't see them very often, but it's got a little chip in it. And I even debated buying it anyway, but I think we've had enough sad friends lately. This guy's staying behind. All right, time to head home. We're gonna say goodbye to the Hudson River and the Hudson Valley. We had a fantastic time. Eric and I had a great time in Kingston, New York. There was so much history there. I really didn't know much about the place, and it was really interesting to learn more. And certainly if I had done a little bit more research ahead of time, I might have wanted to stop at some key spots, maybe spent a little bit more time there. But this was kind of an impulsive decision to just take a day trip, and we just kind of let the day unfold. Unfortunately, as you saw, the main reason why we were there was the architectural salvage store, which was closed. And there were mixed messages about that. You know, even at the store itself, there was a truck painted saying that there were hours on Sunday. Then the front door had a sign saying it was closed on Sunday. There's one website that said it was closed on Sunday. Another website said it was open on Sunday. So you win some, you lose some. We were at least able to kind of check out the grounds a little bit and get a sense of the place. And you never know, we may go back. It's a 2-hour drive, so, you know, a bit of time. That's 4 hours in the car, and that's 4 hours you could be doing something else, right? But Eric likes to drive, and salvage stores are fascinating, so you never know. We may well go back. We're getting lots of tap dancing already from Licorice, so if you're hearing some clicking, that is my girl. And I want to show you what I picked up. Not much. Prices were generally too high to pick up stuff for resale. However, I did get one thing that I'm going to resell. I'll show you that. I picked up this really beautiful teacup and saucer. I thought this was lovely. It was $6. I try to limit my teacups and saucers at $5, but this one was so pretty. Look at the details inside the cup. This one was so pretty, I decided it was coming home with me. It was originally $12. You can see the tag here, but green was half off, so $6. And this is Royal Albert, made in England. I really like Royal Albert pieces, so I was glad to pick this one up. And then I bought two things for myself. I picked up this piece of flash red souvenir wear. I don't know if you're able to see this okay, here now, maybe you can see this. This was inscribed in 1918, and it says, to Pearl from Reed, January 18th, 1918. So these pieces were made, I think they were made in Germany, and a lot of amusement parks and other places that would have souvenirs of the day carried this stuff around the turn of the century, and it's very, very pretty. I have a little collection. What I pick up is usually from Savin Rock Park in West Haven, Connecticut, if I can find it. It's not easy to find. This certainly isn't from there, at least it doesn't say so, and I think it would, but it will look nice with some of the other pieces that I have, and I like the color, and I especially love, you can see it, that it has the date on it. I think that's a pretty detail. The last thing I picked up was this beautiful cake plate with the handles. I absolutely loved this. And this was made in Limoges, France by JP. And it says, just Limoges in the middle. It has this pretty little wreath. I don't know if you can see that too well. I'll give you a closer look in a moment. I thought this was so pretty. It was $25, which was more than I was gonna pay, but then it was half off on top of that. So I decided to pick it up, and I really do love it. This will be going in the Limoges cabinet. Here's a better look at the beautiful cake plate. I think the colors on this are fantastic. You can see some wear around the gold rim, which is pretty typical. Here are the handles. I think this is gorgeous. And I think, do I have that upside down? Here it is. You can see the back stamp now. Even the back stamp is pretty. I was so happy to pick this up. Here is the lovely Royal Albert teacup and saucer. So now you can really see the details in this piece. I try to be really careful and pick up Royal Albert from England, because sometimes you can find it made in other places. Not that those things aren't beautiful, but I would rather pick up English pieces when I can find them. And then last but not least, here is the little souvenir pitcher that I picked up. I think that is so sweet. So I guess Pearl and Reed had a fun day on January 18th, 1918. I wonder if they were sweethearts or just friends or siblings or cousins. I don't know. We'll never know, I guess. But it is a very beautiful piece, and it will look nice with my other pieces. I just wanted to show you that I took my new Limoges cake plate and I popped it in front of my Limoges platter that has the thistles on it. And I think they complement each other nicely because they both have pinks and greens with gold detailing on them. And even though I put the cake plate in front of the platter, Licorice is licking me right now, in case you're wondering about the panting and my arm shaking. Even though the cake plate is in front of the thistle platter, you can still see the pretty thistles poking out. So I think it looks really nice there. Here's where I put the pretty souvenir picture that I just picked up. I think it looks really nice on the mantle. We're in the parlor, and there are some other pieces with it. And I've got some more really pretty glass with ruby red over here on the other side. There's some more pieces as well, but a lot of those are put away for right now. But I really like how this looks, and I think it looks pretty with the red books as well. And there I am. The cats are always way too interested in my lighting. They've also pulled down my little black cardigan, so that's now on the floor. Here's my new lighting. The old lighting's still needing some attention from Eric because Wilson pulled it over. And now we're just having a little grooming session. Indy. Hey, crazy. Okay, this is how lighting tragedies occur. Come here, you. Give me that cord. Give me that cord. Wilson, you want to say hi? Yeah, give me that cord and leave my sweater alone. There we go. I won. So that's it. Hardly a haul. I do not think 3 items actually constitute a haul per se, but I like what I bought. It was a fun day and we had a really nice time. I thought it might be interesting because I don't have a lot of things to show you. I thought it would be interesting to share a few of the things I learned about Kingston, New York that I thought were fascinating. I'm going to show you some highlights of some of the historic buildings that we thought were particularly beautiful as I tell you a little bit about the history of Kingston, New York. As early as 1614, the Dutch began to settle in Kingston, New York, and trade with the local Esopus people. Conflict arose between the two groups, resulting in the Dutch building fortifications and a stockade, triggering the Esopus Wars. The Dutch ceded their claim to the British in 1664, and a year later, a peace treaty was signed with the local tribes. In 1777, Kingston became the capital of New York State after the British gained control of New York City. The New York State Constitution was drafted and read aloud on the steps of the county courthouse, and the first New York State Senate met in Kingston as well. Shortly after, during the Revolutionary War, the city was burned down by the British after the Battle of Saratoga. Fortunately, the residents knew about the oncoming fleet and were able to flee to Hurley, New York. Each year, Kingston celebrates and reenacts the 1777 burning of the city, and I think that would be fascinating to see. Over many years, decades, and even centuries, Kingston has changed from a trading center to an agricultural area to a shipping hub, and then became part of the Industrial Revolution. Today, Kingston has a strong artist community, a diverse population, a very rich history, and increasingly sought after real estate, something that accelerated during the pandemic when many city dwellers fled to more suburban areas. On a more personal note, Eric and I were absolutely amazed when we saw an almost exact copy of the large wooden eagle we recently bought at the Brimfield Flea Market, perched outside the Fred J. Johnston House Museum. It gave us lots of ideas for how we might display our own eagle. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit of thrifting and antiquing in Kingston, New York, a teeny tiny haul, a little bit of history, and some cameos from the fur babies. If you would do me a favor and take just a moment to like this video if you liked it, I would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I am so close to 3,000. I'd really love to hit my goal as soon as possible. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.